Wahala. Trying to keep the time.
Yeah, we
got
have
like
to.
4 minutes. Oh my god. Where am I going to put this? Oh, it's continuous. It's just going to have to do.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'm done. No more running
I'm
around.
sitting on the edge. Shall I have them insist on sitting at the back?
That's fine.
No, there's a seat right there.
Okay.
In this one.
Where are you sitting?
I'm sitting right there.
I'll sit next to you.
Send me out if you need me to get anything.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, where's Uchenna? Okay, 2 minutes, right?
Turn the music down. You want to do a speech now?
Yeah, in 2 minutes. But are we live?
On YouTube. Actually, let me double check the answer.
Huh? Yes! You're supposed to. We're supposed to get a reaction.
I've not seen the whole episode, or is it just your bit?
It's the whole. How am I going to have my own? I don't even know what order I come in. No!
I'm sorry, guys. We are live on YouTube. Sorry, guys, everyone. We are live on YouTube, so if you have any family members that want to watch it, can you direct them to the Real Lifestyle YouTube page? Okay. And they can just access it straight.
Esther needs to know that.
Yeah. So, Real Lifestyle YouTube page.
Thank you. Oh yeah, that was it. Tech has teched, so we're not live on Instagram, but we are live on YouTube. So thank you all. Thank you all so much for coming out on a school night. It really means a lot to see my family, closest friends, and a few of the Uri Lifestyle family members in the room tonight. You're about to watch the most stressful experience of my life. Last year was a very challenging year for Uri Lifestyle, and I'd begun to feel quite exhausted. But then I was invited to speak in Marrakesh at a corporate event, a River Safe Away Day. I was actually invited in my capacity as founder of Part to Possibility, a charity that many of you know is close to my heart. I was invited by Femi, whose wife is here today. Thank you so much. And I was really grateful for the invitation, and I'll tell you why. Because seeing his achievement really gingered me for what I wanted to achieve for Uri Lifestyle, especially when I heard that his business turned over 17 million in a year. You already know Nigeriano, they carry last. So I heard 17 million and I thought, I want a bit of that. But it wasn't just the turnover. It was all his colleagues and all the staff. They looked so happy. And it seemed to me that he had really built a people center and obviously a very profitable business. And I was so inspired. I was so inspired that I credit some of that inspiration for when Dragon's Den came around. It allowed me to take that opportunity when it came around. I'll spare you the final details of the process leading up to the show, but it was super stressful. And I'll forever be grateful to Ngozi, who's here today, and Betty, who I believe is stuck in traffic, for helping me to really prepare for my appearance on Dragon's Den. At one point, Betty told me to pull out. And that's because she had asked me a number of questions, and when she heard my answers, she said, Titi, pull out. You're not ready. And more than that, I don't think any of the dragons will get you or get your business. You may be surprised that I actually said, honestly, I agree with you. And I was thinking the same. But I spoke to one of the producers that morning, and they told me that they had changed the format of the show this year. That this year they were going to have two guest dragons, Gary Neville and Emma Creed. Before I even finished saying Creed, Betty shouted, Emma Creed! And I said, do you know her? And she said, mate, I will drag you screaming. You are going on that show. Whether you like it or not, you're going on that show because if you have any chance of anyone getting it, it will be Emma. Ngozi and Betty both invested a lot of time and energy in preparing me for the show. Betty, who works as a senior consultant in PR, suddenly remembered that she has an economics degree, and she fired questions that honestly took my breath away. And my friend, Ngozi, who is a banker and an accountant, obviously fired financial questions at me. Ngozi actually followed me to Manchester, a debt I will never, ever be able to repay. We almost came to blows when she kept challenging my answers. This woman, however, woke up at 5 a.m. to write post-it notes so that I wouldn't forget any of the answers that we had rehearsed. So I'm taking away so many things from this experience. And one of them is that the journey of life can be a whole lot easier if we allow the right people to support and critique us. But that means suppressing our own ego and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. My friends saw me at my weakest points, and they supported me to be better. I also want to thank some of my other close friends who helped me at various points in this journey. I can still remember Sylvia's clear mantra, "It is done," but only after she had asked me numerous questions about why I wanted to go through the process. The last person I want to address this evening is my husband, the love of my life since I was 19 years old. If he's frowning today, it's because I reversed into his car just as I was coming here. So he's not very happy. But thank you for providing me with a stable and loving home, without which I would never, ever have the guts to chase the wild dreams that I have. Now, when I told my husband that I got this email asking if I'd ever heard of Dragon's Den and would consider it, he said, "Don't do it." And when I asked him why, he said, well, that's because, he said, "I just don't want unwanted attention." I know him well, so I know that he said that to protect me, because he wants to protect me. But one evening, when he saw me getting really stressed out, he said, "Titi, we know dragons, oh. If it's 60,000 you need, we know people we can go to." I laughed so hard, but that was exactly his intention. So here we are months afterwards, and you're about to watch me sweat, tremble, and stutter. Many of you in this room know my story. My siblings, Shade and Wendy, in this room, you know my story, our story. The prognosis remains bleak for many children who grew up in the type of poverty that I grew up in. And although I went on Dragon's Den to chase a big dream, I want to thank God so deeply, because I'm already living a dream. From the days there was nothing to eat when I was growing up in Ekotedo in Ibadan. From the days there was nothing to eat when I was growing up in Ekotedo in Ibadan, to a career that I now love, and to a side hustle that has taken me to Dragon's Den. A side hustle that is more than a business to me. It is more about self-acceptance and love. From being expelled in school in South London to 2 degrees later, I'm already living a dream. But this is more than my own dreams. I'm living my mother's dream. Sometimes when I wake up at 5 a.m. to process customers' orders, I remind myself that my mother woke up at 5 a.m. to go to multiple cleaning jobs. To my children in the room, Fadike and Adijari, you're already living my dream. Being raised in a stable home, never having to cry because you're so hungry, growing up to know your father, and having access to the best and consistent education. Thank you everyone for watching and seeing me chase another dream. Now, Watch me sweat. Nothing to cry. Sorry. Oh God, that was awful.
Let it dry.
The Apprentice continues tonight at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Can't wait to see you. It's the sweet spot when it comes to the dessert task in an hour. Will it be the boys or the girls? Let's start. This is The Deal on BBC One.
A light turns from red to green.
Dragon's Den is open for business.
I don't often say this, but your pitch was awful.
You've got to be quiet for this little bit, Peter, if that's all right.
Ouch.
A place where budding entrepreneurs are given a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
You have this most bizarre way of answering questions.
Stop it! To present their wares to 5 captains of commerce.
You wanted to see how credible we are,
Yeah.
so I'm about to show you.
Well, show me.
Some will succeed and go on to make millions. Others will fail and leave with nothing.
Make him a counter offer, tell him to shove it where the sun doesn't shine.
The hunt is on to find the next big money-making idea.
Dragons are learning.
Tonight.
My name's Emma Greed, I am an entrepreneur and I'm from East London.
The Dragons have a special guest.
Emma, welcome.
So happy to be here, it's a bit major, isn't it? I'm the CEO and founder of Good American with my business partner Khloe Kardashian. On our first day of business we sold $1 million worth of jeans and that was an incredible start to what I knew would be an amazing journey. I'm also the founding partner of Skims alongside Kim Kardashian. That business is valued at $3.2 billion. Real gold? Oh, come on. It was a really hard moment for me to write the Forbes richest self-made women list. Underline, self-made.
So did you manifest becoming a dragon?
100% I did. By being on Dragon's Den, the opportunity for me is actually really about paying it forward.
Gutting when they walk out with nothing, no?
And That's what I love about this show. The idea that just the spark of imagination and the right investor can come together and completely change the trajectory of your entire life.
You're going to breathe some fire.
Oh, yes.
Dragon's Den, hashtag Dragon's Den. A black woman with afro hair starred in a side parting enters the lobby.
I'm 45 years old. I'm from Hertfordshire. And I love everything fashion, beauty, wellness.
Hair product for afro hair.
I invested in a product specifically for afro hair a few years ago.
Did? Yeah. I've got a great one, Bread. She's killing it.
I might get in this business then.
Always have another one.
We might have competition today then.
We'll see about that.
I have a dragon in mind. I learned that this season Emma Creed is going to be there. She is the ultimate BB. It would be insane if she came on board.
But will the Dragons feel the same synergies with their new partner?
Emma, it can get a little hot in here. How are you feeling?
Let's have it.
The lift doors open, then Titi walks into the room and approaches the dragon.
Hello, dragons. My name is Titi Bello. I am the founder of Uri Lifestyle. Uri Lifestyle is a hair care and education brand. I'm hoping to raise 60,000 for 15% equity in my business. I started the brand because I suffered from significant hair loss as a result of my over-reliance on weaves, extensions, and braids. At that point, I immersed myself in learning how to care for Afro-textured hair. I transformed my hair, and that led to hair coaching services which helped other women to transform their hair too. I'm currently stocked in Selfridges online and in Harrods. I want the investment to significantly improve on my marketing channels. I also want to build a hair education app. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to try some of the products, they're under your chat.
Oh, lovely.
Your hair looks great, by the way.
A range of afro-texture hair products and future plans for a hair education app is the proposition from Hertfordshire-based Titi Bello.
In your hand, you've got the leave-in conditioner. There's also a spritz to just infuse your hair with a bit of conditioning and moisture.
For £60,000, Titi's offering a 15% share of her company.
There's a hair oil.
Oh, I love an oil.
It's got broccoli seed oil, so it really keeps frizz at bay.
Preferred Dragon, Emma Greed, is first to kick things off.
I feel like you're right on time in terms of this product category, because there's such a movement towards natural hair, especially in this, like, for this demographic. But I wonder what you think really sets you apart, because we know there's massive saturation in this market. So what's your USP?
Okay. One of my USPs is that the product is unique, but also we focus more on educating our customer base and our client base and take them on a journey of really caring for their hair. So I think the education piece is very strong because I started off as a hair coach. I also know that the 5 new products that I'm going to launch this year, at least 2 of them, nothing like that on the market.
I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about the price and positioning? You mentioned that you were in Selfridges and Harrods, so I'm guessing that this is a pretty premium product.
I love to call it affordable premium. The most expensive product that I sell is the canola oil at £36 and the leave-in conditioner at £32.
It's premium, all right.
Titi, can you give me an idea of the sort of growth? When did you start this business?
I launched in December 2019.
And can you give me an idea of the growth profile since then in terms of revenue and net profit?
In our first year, we turned over 47,000, gross profit 25,000, the net was 6,500. In our second year, we turned over 72,000, the gross 30,000 and net was 2,500. Our third year, we turned around 52,000. Gross was 40 and the net was 7,500.
When I look at this business, Titi, I think over the last 3 years you've generated about 15k in net profit. You're asking me today to invest £60,000. Logically, you understand that I'm going to try and get a return on that £60,000, a significant one, maybe 5 times or something like that. So, what's the thinking behind this hair education app? Because the core business hasn't reached a certain scale where I think that would be a good distraction for the business. So, what's your thinking around launching an app, which will cost a ton of money and also a ton of sort of founder headspace?
The thinking is that if I have an app, it is a way to advertise the products globally. The app is going to be free on entry, so people that want to build hair care routines for themselves, who want product recommendation, will be able to get tailor-made support for that.
Why an app? I would think that education of the problem and how you're solving it is your marketing for the product. So to put that in the App Store behind a download button, I actually think will hurt your business's chance of growth. What I think you should do is take all that education content that you're planning on putting in the app and post it for free on social media, and that's the front door into people realizing not just the sort of relating to the problem, but then positioning you as the solution to the problem. That's the thing where you have an opportunity, and that is something you should be giving away for free. If you do that, your customer acquisition comes down, your retention goes up, and this business can stand alone because we believe in you and you're telling me that this is the solution. And so I think if you focus on not putting your education behind a download wall, that is how this business grows. But until then, I don't think you have an investable business, so I'm going to say that I'm out.
Can I just talk margins with you? Because margins matter in a business. So at the moment, what happened in your margins is you were running at about a 50-ish% margin for a couple of years. Then you had quite a big increase in your margin. So what happened there? Why did your margin increase?
Heavily invested in products.
That's not why your margin. So your margin is your cost of your product versus what you're selling the product for. So that's what I'm talking about. What happened to your cost of sales that suddenly your margin leapt up? Is that figure right? £52,000 worth of sales, £40,000 gross profit. Because before your gross profit was much lower as a percentage.
Sorry, I've just
Have you gone blank? It's all right, take a minute.
I think you've picked me up on something that I.
It's not your strong point.
Are the 2022 numbers correct? £52,000 worth of sales. Gross profit was 40.
Yes.
Are those numbers correct?
The numbers are correct.
So what Deborah's asking when she's asking the margin question, was there something in your cost of goods that went down so that you could make that much money? Was there anything that happened there? Did you start to get the cost of the product down?
The cost of 2 products that were launched went down because we moved to a supplier.
So that's it. That's exactly it there. That's what she's asking you. And I get it. I'm super dyslexic, right? I really find it tough to get my head around the numbers. So I understand perhaps not being the financial whiz. I love the way Deborah sits here banging out all the numbers. I have to do like a whole calculation on my page like I was in the primary school. So I get it. But you do need to have a really firm grip of those numbers. And also you need to be able to have that from the get-go. Go on, Deborah.
No, I'm done.
So Titi, how do we get this business up and running? You should be getting this product out there and target Afro salons who are specialists in taking care of Afro hair. Forget Harrods, forget Selfridges, but that's a small proportion. How many Afro salons are there in the UK?
There are quite a few.
Right, so the first step, you need to go out to those Afro salons and teach those hairdressers face on and say, this is what my product does. Use it and sell it.
You're absolutely right. I am in one,
Right, but not enough.
but it's not enough. Yes.
I want you to get out there and visit those stores. Get people talking about you, telling their friends. That's your next step. But unfortunately, the numbers today show me that it's not investable. And for that reason, I'm out.
Thank you.
Titi, so I think the best piece of advice you've been given today is actually how to go and reach that community. I think you had a great point of get out to the salons, and if your product is as good as you say it is, they will want to stock that on their shelves because that will help their customers. But I don't feel like it's an investment for me today, so I'm out.
Titi, I think you brought out you've got a really great product, but the problem with this is that you came in really clearly. You were very, very clear with regards to what I'm going to do and what I want. And you said you're going to build an education app. But it's like the horse before the cart. You haven't actually built the brand or the community yet. So all of your effort should be going into the products that you've created, getting the messaging out there, and put all of that effort behind that to build a business before you even start thinking of an app. Because at the moment, you've not proved that this market is there for you. So I think you need to focus on what you've got and grow from there. And I think when you do that, I think you're going to build yourself a business, but it's not investable today for the size of that opportunity for me. So for that reason, I'm out. I'm saying good luck.
All right. How are you feeling, love?
Fine, thank you.
All right. I know it's a lot. I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. You know, there's definitely a couple of issues that you've got here, right? I think that you've been in business for quite a few years now, and when we look at your numbers, there's something about the brand that just isn't tracking. I think that you perhaps need to look at the price of this product. That's a barrier to entry. It really, really is. And then you're asking them to download an app. You're creating a barrier to entry. You've already got a barrier to entry, your price. You don't need to create more barriers for us to get into your product. You just want a customer to buy. From my view, a couple of the signs of a good entrepreneur is learning fast, pivoting even faster. Are you willing to actually take the advice from this group of people here, focus on your product range, not look to the app, and just focus in on what it is that you do really well?
Absolutely. I came here because I want this business to win, and there is no way that I'm going to dismiss advice from the dragons around how, especially when I've been convinced about the points that you've made.
Right answer, Titi. That's exactly what I wanted you to say, like 100% hands down. All right, so I'm going to give you an offer, actually. You asked for 60 grand, so 15% of your business. Is that right? Okay, so I'm willing to give you the 60, but I want 25%. What do you want to manage?
I'll take it.
Close one of your options down, but it's brilliant.
Well done.
That is so much.
I'm so happy for her.
Do you see
That
her
reaction was
Do you see her reaction? It was just awesome. I didn't want it anyway.
Your first deal, Emma.
First deal in the day.
young white men waiting for you to check out the framed photos of the dragons on the lobby wall.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm 29 and I'm from London. I'm Charlie. I'm 30 and I'm also from London. I'm feeling pretty excited. Looking around and being in the dens is pretty surreal.
My God, I'm starving. Smells alright.
It looks like mint. It looks like vegan mint, doesn't it? Because you look at where it's used. Toast, jacket potato.
Toast. Toasted mince. Not coming.
It was worse than that in the den.
Let me mic you back. Are we live? Yeah. A message Esther. Oh, shit. I got my message.
Right. It was worse than that. They edited it, I think, sympathetically to me. They did. She was what? Oh no, they didn't show her first opening, which was all, I love the branding, I love the colors, oh my God, how much do you pay your graphic designer? They didn't put all of that in. So she was really... Negotiate the offer. Negotiate the offer. So I was probably in the den for about maybe 35 minutes. If you see how much I was grilled, I didn't even know there was no inkling that she was going to come through. As in, it was so, for want of a better word, it was so negative that when she came through, I was like, from where? So to negotiate was not on the cards for me anyway. Besides, to be fair, the reason I didn't negotiate also was because, well, maybe we should have our Q&A session now, right? Because there's a reason why I didn't negotiate, and Ngozi is part of that. But is Betsy here? Oh. All right, so Betsy and Ngozi are going to come up. I think we're going to sit down and answer some questions that you may have. I can't believe you guys are not interested in finishing the... Oh, so what? It was. Yeah, no, you should hear my speech because I cried.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So. Well, we're going to talk about. So the thing is, obviously, you guys have questions. I had a brilliant question. Why didn't you negotiate? And I think we had a strategy. So I'm gonna let you answer. Uchenna, are you good with us? No. Okay.
You can smile in the meantime. I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay. So why didn't I negotiate the deal? Ngozi, do you want to take that question?
I honestly don't remember, but we did have a strategy.
Yeah.
We said, look, Titi, whatever the case is, go to the wall and say, Shango, Risha. Something, like you have to give some drama, take your time. She didn't do any of that.
I'm going to answer that question more fully.
Okay.
Ngozi told me, she said, okay, don't give away more than, Ngozi said, 20%.
Do I remember?
I think you definitely said, don't give away 20%. And if they come away anything more than 20%, just go to the wall and face the wall and say, Shango, Orishao. But that was her advice. But I should also say that had spoken to one of the dragons that my husband said we could go to, Chris. and Chris had told me that I should be prepared to walk away with, giving away at least 30% of my equity, because of where the business was, what the figures were saying, that if you're pushed and you need to give away 30% equity, yes. And you know what? Chris watches every single episode of Dragon's Den. And he's a dragon in his own right. So I went into that with Ngozi's advice and Chris's advice. So when it came to the offer, I knew that, okay, it wasn't what I went in there for, but it wasn't far off from, yeah. Olu?
I have a question. And it's not more of a question, but in business, there's one thing that you have to realize. When you have an offer, you still have to negotiate because you're in business. And you always have to remember that first number that is placed in front of you is negotiable. So you always have to remember that in business, there's always going to be what I call bananas, and you have to be able to say, hang on, let me see if I can push back. Right, you've got a margin up to 30%, but you could have just simply said, I appreciate your offer, but however,
okay,
you go for 20%. And if at that point you said, no, it's going to be 20% or leave it, then you know. But not negotiating in business is never the right step.
I don't disagree. I actually don't disagree at all. However, Dragon's Den is a very emotional experience. Yes. What you saw there was probably a 10 minutes edit over 30, 35 minutes grilling. And by the figures, they were kind of correct and right. And, you know, yes, I'm not even going to disagree with you, Olu. I also really believe that I went in there emotionally attached to Emma. And you guys heard my speech, and Betty obviously missed. You know, Betty literally told me, I told everyone that you told me to pull out until you heard. And so can I let you?
Okay, I don't know what you said, but Titi said to me, we had a conversation, we were talking about this for about 20 minutes, and then she mentions Emma. I was just like, sorry, what are you talking about? What, Emma, who, what? And she's like, oh, she's a guest dragon. I was like, we've been talking for 20 minutes and you've just mentioned her name. Are we having the same conversation? At that point, I said to her, mate, whether you're ready or you're not ready, you're going. There is no ifs and buts. This is like a lifetime opportunity. The other dragons, they can come and go, who cares? What value are they going to bring? Who knows? But Emma, in my opinion, like the most amazing, formidable businesswoman of our generation, I was like, you've got to go.
So because of that background, I was completely overwhelmed when she was interested, because Chris also said something to me. He said, I watched Dragon's Den, and when one goes on, it's like a psychology, when one goes on a negative train, everyone just follows on. Yeah. She was the only one that didn't go on the same negative train. So I was just completely blown away. Yeah. And also, obviously, remember that my figures were not saying, this is going to make me, you know, this is going to change my life. You know, my figures were saying this business is struggling. This big business needs help. So I take your point 100%. But there were emotional circumstances trying.
Very good.
So just
thank you.
In Titi's defense, again, as we said, there was a high number, and when you look at what Emma offered you, it wasn't significantly different than what you were pitching. You know, so even if you tried to negotiate a middle ground, where would you have ended up? 17%, 18%?
Exactly.
I know they were good to watch, and I do agree, but honestly, I think Titi's, where you were with the business, nobody goes to Dragon's Den for the 60K. That's the reality. When we
exactly.
looked at all the stress, the
Yeah.
effort, Betty saying pull out, the thinking around the numbers, knowing they would challenge you to see, when you say you made the gross sales of this, but your net profit is 2K, you know, I looked at that interview and I thought, oh, they're missing all the bits where we said, don't forget to say you launched new products. Don't forget to say you bought this and this and you paid for marketing. There was so much more that went into explaining those numbers, but obviously it doesn't show up on the screen. So personally, I think Emma did. She was kind.
Yeah.
She gave you an offer. They didn't take away half your business or double what you went in there for. So to be honest, it was brilliant. So well done.
Thank you. Sorry, hold on.
Well done, amazing, blown away, almost in tears at some point. Like I mentioned before, time and chance, there's a reason why she was in there at that point in time. I just, have a question. If she was willing to, go up to probably 50%, let's say she was completely blown away about your business and offered you more, would you have gone? Probably offered you 150. Because 25% 60, if you times that, 150 or 120, or 50%.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to go back to something else. I didn't go to Dragon's Den just for the money. My husband said it in jest, but he's right. There are other ways that I could have raised money by myself.
Exactly.
I went into Dragon's Den because I wanted the connections, the network, the expert mentoring, the support. And Emma, as Betty said, probably the best businesswoman of our generation. I'm 6 years older than her. Let that sink in. So if she had said she wanted more percentage, I would have given it to her. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to sit on 100% of nothing. And I have big dreams, not dreams for my own personal comfort. My own personal I have a career that is reasonably successful, right? And we thank God for Mr. Abilu. Who makes my life very comfortable. But I am ambitious for the business because I'm ambitious to make an impact. The business gives 50p in every sale to the charity Path to Possibility. If we become super successful, it means that charity gets more. It means that the children that grew up in the same circumstances that I grew up in can get more of an education. So the business to me is not about me. It's about what we can do, the impact I can have. So if the best businesswoman in the world wants more, and it means that the kids will get more, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, and part of the reason why I talked about this was because I think I was reading up about Kate Spade, and you guys all know how she makes bags. Started that business, and I read her history and how what happened and how much of a business she gave away, and she at some point got the business had, I think she gave up more than 50%, but worldwide, Chinese love music, all the continents, people like her bags, they're affordable and all this kind of thing. So I guess I'll just ask you from that point of view. So not just in the UK, but worldwide domination of the product. So I just wanted to have an idea of if you are willing to, and I understand now because it has a ripple effect on everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I say something? Basically, I know we spoke about it at the time, and I was like holding my breath when you went to do it. But for me, watching you and actually seeing how you held yourself, no one can understand the pressure.
No one can understand the pressure of being on a live or being on a recorded show like that and being able to hold it together and do a presentation and answer questions from these really intimidating people. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I cannot tell you how proud of you I am. Honestly, no matter what they said, no matter how they came across, Titi, no matter how much they came across to you like a negative, you smashed it. Because there are people who would not even be able to speak and would be shaking. Babe, you did amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. I think Ngozi wants to talk about how when we walked Ngozi, you go.
No. Just as we cut off from the show, the two guys that came on, so before Titi went on to actually present to the Dragons, there was sort of a dry run with the production crew. But the thing is, they didn't actually warn us about it.
Yeah.
So we were there setting up the shelf, or the display unit, and then suddenly there's a bunch of people standing around and like, okay, now you're going to have to give your speech like you would to the Dragons to these guys. And this girl who's like always we've been practicing this speech, who had her head down trying to learn it. It was like, sorry, I didn't remember what I was going to say. And then they moved to those guys, right? And those guys were so together.
They were mad.
They had it. They were like, oh, this up front. It was like, whoa, we're in trouble here. But it got to a point where I knew your speech. Like, hi, I'm the founder. I was like, oh, imposter. But this is how much Titi was rehearsing it. So I think when I saw it now live, I was quite impressed. You're like, thank God. Remember, but no, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
There was certainly things that I don't know how anyone will ever get to understand the pressure you were under.
Yeah.
Literally on the Sunday, thinking about whether or not to go, like the short notice.
Yeah.
It's one thing to want to go on Dragon's Den, and I think it's a whole nother thing to be asked to come on and then to be put under so much pressure.
Yeah.
So honestly, thank God for Betty, who knows Emma. I didn't know Emma, to be honest. But at the same time, I recognize that it was the opportunity you wanted, which is, how do you grow and scale a business like yours? Are you going to continue putting in all of these hours and hoping for the best, or are you going to try and find somebody like that? And I'm so grateful that you saw it through and that we got
did
the
it.
bag in the end.
We
Joe,
did it.
We did it, Joe. It was hard work.
Can I say something? So obviously Ngozi was with me. Ngozi, thank you. Honestly, thank you. But Ngozi, when we got into the hotel, the first thing she said was, is this it?
It wasn't me.
But let me tell you something, because she's waxing so lyrically now. She was there, she helped me set up the shelf, everything else, but she wasn't allowed to obviously come into the Dragon with me. So she was in the changing in the room that they gave us.
Did you hear?
No.
No. You couldn't see them.
She couldn't see, she couldn't hear. She was just in the room.
Backstage,
Yeah, backstage. So when I came back, and I said, we did it, she just started crying.
Right.
No,
but I wasn't. It's funny. We never thought about what if it didn't happen.
We didn't think about that.
There was no thinking about that. There was no like, how will I comfort you? Haribos, I didn't have any.
I love Haribos.
No, we didn't get to that point, which was great anyway.
It's, on that point, we really did not think.
We didn't think.
There was any other option.
Yeah,
I was so confident that you'd get Emma. It wasn't like...
She was, it's like she had the dream, I don't know what.
I was so confident. I was like, don't worry about it, you're going to get Emma. I was like, why am I even so sure? Like, why am I... Well, I was so confident.
You were?
As soon as you said her name, I was like, yeah, this is all... I could see it all aligned. You're going to get her. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I told
I
them.
was so grateful you didn't actually know much about her.
No.
Because it just relaxed you. If you know, you know someone, the build-up in your mind is intense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, this is Emma, who's
Yeah.
the Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Pixie.
I think Emma, I don't know if anyone saw, but the camera kept going to her. And I feel like she was pleased every time somebody said no. Because she felt like less people for me. I felt like she knew she was going to offer you, no matter the grilling. Anyway, that's not what I raised my hand to say. Now that it's, I'm not asking a business question, now that it's out in the open, now we've all seen it, how do you feel? You've seen it, because you obviously haven't seen it in months.
No.
How do you feel now that it's all out?
I feel relieved. I really feel relieved. I feel that it was actually, I'd worked myself up because I actually thought that the edit was going to be worse than what it was. And I don't know why, but I'd really worked myself up because I know that, you know, that maybe the figures weren't so brilliant. Maybe I wasn't as eloquent as I thought that I usually am. And I will tell you something. I didn't feel that I gave my best in that room. And I feel that that was a couple of things. Nerves and pressure. Absolutely correct. But also, I remembered something that had never happened to me before. I was standing there, and as I was given an answer, I had an out-of-body experience. And in my out-of-body experience, when the criticism was so, you guys don't realize that even though I got the outcome that I wanted to get, Betty, testify, I was depressed.
You were.
For weeks on end because I'd never faced that much criticism. And I thought I was good. Yes, I knew that the business wasn't anywhere but I thought I was good. And so all the criticism levied at me was a lot. So afterwards, I fell into, I'll call it a mini depression. And it took me, I'm not going to lie, months to kind of get out of it. To the point where one day Shola said, what is this? Like, you got a deal, you know. And so it was really hard. So I felt really sad. But seeing it now, and Ngozi testifying to the short notice, the lot of pressure that I was under, you know, cramming the numbers, which is not my strength, I would say. It was really, really intense. And I will admit, the figures and the numbers are not my forte. I love the creativity. I think I'm even relatively good a little bit at maybe how to talk to the customers, how to market it a little bit. But the figures are not my strength. And it really stretched me. When Deborah was in margins and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, to answer your questions, how do I feel now?
Now, in this moment.
In this moment, I feel like I've achieved something amazing.
Yes. Sorry, hang on.
For the people at home, what about you? Go quite an audience, by the way.
So, first of all, the idea that you were referring to those things as criticism is possibly areas of improvement because they have market experience. They understand what you need to do to drive your business to the next level. So your response was, yes, if the Dragons advise me, then, you know, so it's not criticism, that's the first thing. It's areas where you can improve your business and drive it, take it to the next level and make it global. That's one point. Then there was something else, and I'm sure you must have picked up on it. You know, this was where in the market your product is, you know, whether it was premium, you said it was affordable, premium, and whatnot, which is interesting. But my question really is for your product, for it to, you know, sometimes you said, you know, you rather have a business that does something rather than nothing. So the question that I'm asking is, you know, is your price point effective in the marketplace that you're in?
Okay.
And are you, and that was the other question that you answered correctly to the lady, I've forgotten her name now, which was you're willing to do something. So what I'm trying to say here is your price point actually going to capture a larger market? And are you looking to address that price point? Because I think that price point actually might need to be modified so that you can capture a larger market share.
Okay, that's a really great question. I think I called it affordable luxury, because of how I know that black women move in the market. I challenged the notion that my products are expensive. I actually really challenged that. That's not to say that I don't think. Okay, I'm just going to be really very, very, very honest. The products are made in the UK. I'm a small business, so the economies of scale are not on my side. And we do not skim on the sort of ingredients that we use. The formulations are superior. Could I create a £10 leave-in conditioner? Absolutely yes. But then I came into the market because I thought that Afro-textured hair, which has traditionally been sold so many types of products that I think may work, but don't give you the sophistication or the refinement that I think that our hair deserves. So for example, yes, when you compare it to a lot of leave-in conditioners, my leave-in conditioner is £32. Some others may be £15. But when you also compare them, my leave-in conditioners is very effective, but it's light. So you see my hair, it's moving. It's not stodgy, it's not weighed down. Whereas a traditional leave-in conditioner can be so heavy in this kind of ingredients that is used to make it up. But you're absolutely right. There is room in the price point when the economies of scale improve. And I'm not opposed to exploring that at all.
Absolutely, because the one thing that I would say is once I wanted to get into business, but I quickly, I'm not a business person, so I quickly realized that. But anyway, I went to Guangzhou, China to potentially look at some products to see whether I could market some products manufactured in China. And the one thing, this is talking about economies of scale, the one thing I realized when I got there is if you look at any product, they will say to you, if you're buying one, it's this price. If you're buying 10, it's this price. And if you're buying 1 million, then it's this price. So you get a price point. So I guess from your perspective is, of course, economies of scale. Funny enough, I didn't know whether they asked you how many units you've sold, blah, blah, blah. But I guess the reality of it is if you're going to market in huge numbers, then you will get that economy of scale and you might be able to negotiate your prices for your ingredients cheaper. So yes, but there's opportunities there for sure.
Absolutely, and that's where hopefully Emma comes in as well.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing we have to really give Titi credit for was I remember the year you launched Ori Lifestyle. She called me and she was like, "Oh girl, we have to do something. We have to open a salon." I was like, "You and who?" I was like, when did I ever give you an impression that I was into hair? You know, it's her passion project, and you even sent me the website design, and then the logo had this girl with sleek hair. I was like, "What is this? Please make her hair bigger." I don't know. I know I've been there from the grassroots, but the one thing that's always impressed me was you put your money where your mouth was. You know, the £3,000 for the website, and then I was like, girl, don't they sell ready-made websites? What's wrong with this girl? But Titi is premium or nothing. Eh? Seriously, I joke not. It was 2019, we said £3,000. She was paying this guy. She would send me, she would say, go and review it for me, you owe me. And we would find things that needed to be fixed or changed, and it's been like consistent, putting your money back into the business. Even when friends had said, okay, should I give you some money so that she's like, no, give me like stress, knowing that, you know.
Ngozi said, at one point when I was struggling financially, Ngozi said, do you need a bit of money? I said, no, I don't want to ruin our friendship. I don't want to ruin our friendship.
No, so this whole thing about money, and I think one thing for sure that anyone should give you props for is your business has grown from your investment in it. And Titi does not cut corners. You know, we've argued about boxes. She sent me the box. I said, Titi, do you need the logo printed inside? Isn't that costing you money? I'm not asking you for advice about the inside of the box. Just tell me, do you like it or not? Like, on the Dragon's Den day, it was like, Titi, do you need to talk about this education thing? Can we not just focus on, say it's premium? She said, I don't want to talk. Honestly, I'm so glad you got Emma, because otherwise we argued about, you know, what she was pitching, but it's a conviction. It's your dream, it's your passion, you know, and constantly investing in the business even when things have been challenging, I think is something to be admired. And hopefully, like Olu said, Emma will bring in the economies of scale, the broader market, all the things that make the product a lot more accessible to many more people. So just wanted to add that.
I just... Okay, so there were 2 points. Well, to start with, I love you. So proud, so proud, so proud. So two points were two of the many points that were raised. One, they asked about why you don't reach salons. You know, I mean, I feel that you try to reach as many people as you can through the way that you do it, you know, social media, which, you know. So I don't know what your view is on that. Maybe it's what I think. The other point that I wanted to ask about is the app. And I don't know if that is something you can speak on as much at this point, but how actually is that app really going to, aside from the social media aspect and what you currently do, how do you envisage the app actually reaching a wider audience? How is that going to work?
So I'll talk about the app first. So the idea behind the app is simply because there is so much misinformation, miseducation around Afro-textured hair. And I know that one of the ways in which we will get more people enjoying their hair, being comfortable with their hair, is them having the education on how to take care of their hair. So you've been on a hair journey because you've been on my hair course. The idea is that an app will enable people, is a shortcut to a hair course. Not many people want to sit for 2 hours once every month to learn, right? So an app developed properly and well can give you that education without you needing to necessarily sign up to a course. So I honestly still feel that in the Afro space, there is a lot of room. Education and any brand still needs to come hand in hand. I really, really believe that. Because I feel that once the education is there, there was a time that a lot of people didn't know that I could grow my hair to this length, right? Exactly. So it's only in the last 10, 15 years that we're realizing that as Black women, we can grow our hair to long lengths and we can wear our hair exclusively. But that is not just about products. That is about education. That is about hair routine, hair care. So therefore, the education piece is tied into any brand that I think is going to be successful in the long run. So that's why I went in with the app. Does that answer your question? What was the second half of the question?
Well, it was
the salon bit, I think he was absolutely correct. And of course, my desire is to be in salons that cater for Afro-textured hair. But there is also the thing about, you know, what a tiny two-band team can do, you know. So I don't have people you know, walking around and selling the products, you know, it's me plus one.
On the salon thing, when you think about what the likes of L'Oreal do to target Black salons, it's off the scale. They have workshops, free workshops, they give them free products. The incentive for them to have this product in their salons is huge. For a small independent business, it's just not viable.
And just to add to that point, I think that's where what Betty said is important. Emma would get the business. when you've had an African hair salon experience in London, you don't go there for products. You know, you bring in your stuff if it's the good stuff.
Yeah.
There are a few Jamaican salons I've been to where they add £1 if they use red Ken, £1 if they add this, £1 if they. So they have like a couple of things they stock, but those salons were few and far between. The most common type of African salon you go into might just have a big ass tub of shampoo and a big conditioner, and that's about it. Everything else, bring yourself. So Tuka, thank you for the advice. I agree. There's probably an opportunity there, but like you said, it's not really how African salons work. We don't go there to have our hair bleached and then they have all the products, you know. So maybe in the long term. Yeah.
And also, I did feel that there was something a little bit, I don't want to say annoying, but patronizing perhaps about that. Because when you think about scaling hair care brands for other groups, do you tell them to go into salons and, you know, why are you telling me to go, you know? So when you think, I just thought, thank you for your contribution.
There's an opportunity, we don't know, but it's not the...
I mentioned the salon. Yeah. I don't think they fully understand the dynamics of how...
That's what I said. Black hair salon.
You know, take care of their hair and what they do in the salon. You know, so I don't feel... I mean, obviously you can't argue with the dragon, you know, but I think that was a mute point, you know, my view. But the question I wanted to ask was around beyond the financial contribution from the dragon. Is she offering you anything else by way of support that's non-financial?
So I think that what they edited out, one of the things that she said was, look, she was candid. She was like, Selfridges and Harrods may not make you the money. Where I see you is in Ulta, is in, you know, these American distribution networks. This is where I see you, but we have a lot of work to do, right? So I think, to answer your question directly, it's more than that. It is that, Betty, let you.
That's what I feel.
It's significantly more than that. So let's just start with the event you went to this week with her.
Oh, yes.
So, Titi went to an event. And again, as I said to you, it took 20 minutes before she mentioned Emma when I spoke to her about Dragon's Den. So she goes to this event and she's messaging me. I'm like, oh, okay, who's there? She's like, oh, all these influencers. I was like, oh, really? Like who? She's like, Patricia Bright. I was like, sorry. These are not just influencers. These are like the creme de la creme of influencers. And then I started seeing the pictures on social about who was there. And I was just flabbergasted as to how you played that back to me. It was shocking. It literally had the most influential Black, white women in business who do business and do influencer marketing on a scale that is next to none. They were all in that room. There was about 40 of them. So not a huge room. And then what did Emma say?
So, okay, before I say what Emma said, I have to, many of you know me and some of you would think that I'm loud, right? Some of you would think I'm loud. Some of you would think that I'm very, and I am confident, but I'm very shy. I'm very shy and I'm an introvert. So a networking event is outside of my comfort zone. So I ran to the toilet and I started messaging Bessie. I said, oh God, I have to talk to people. I'm by myself. I want to go home. And Betty said, come on, Bessie is an extrovert. She works in PR. She talks all the time. She was like, no. In fact, she gave me 3 bullet points. Ask them about what they do for joy or something, one of those things. But I gathered myself again, left the toilet that I was hiding in, and went back upstairs. We sat down, and Emma said, I want all of you to support Titi. This is the business that I've invested in. I want you to support her. So clearly, it's more than just a financial investment.
So like that kind of support, you can't even put money on it. Like this is where the line, how much is money, really does mean something. You can't put money on it. That to get even 10 of the women in that room to support you will elevate your brand in a way you can't even begin to imagine. So what Emma brings to the table is
say something because I know you probably say, oh, he has gone spiritual again, but let me go there because if I don't say it now, I probably would say it later to you one-on-one. But sometimes there's some things that you do that moves the heart of God, right? And he puts you in certain places because he knows you are someone that he can use, Yeah, I don't want to quote people from the Bible that, have given and helped and have touched God's heart. I'll just use Cornelius as one of them. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. You say, preach on, Kiki. So there's some things that we do that moves God's heart, and he's touched by it, and he will, put you in front of people, bottom line, what I'm trying to say is that some things you do that will, bring great people your way and, elevate you. So just keep on doing what you're doing, even for parts of possibilities in our life.
Thank you.
Well done, Titi. I must say you've done a very, very good job with your products. I remember when you launched a couple of years ago, it seemed like a lifetime away. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just sticking to the brand, you did say it was made in the UK. Have you looked at, and this is going into the future, tapping into the African market for sourcing of raw materials to bring, the cost of production down and increase your margins? Just a thought that just crossed my head. So I'm not too sure if.
The quick answer is I've not looked to the African market for ingredients per se, but I definitely have my eye on the African market. For me personally, I think the African market is being missed by a lot of established brands, or the established brands that are going in and not doing the necessary work, but they're expecting our money. I really believe that there is a market in Africa. But I think that actually maybe mother luck or whatever you want to say, it may be on my side because I'm African. I think that the African market, however, you need to know how to engage with the audience, connect with the audience, and deliver, like everywhere, what they need. So it is something that I'm very, very interested in because I'm Nigerian, I'm African. But in terms of ingredient-wise, I honestly really feel that when it comes to ingredients, we are in a global market. And my brand is not tied to ingredients coming from any one region. It is tied to high-performing ingredients that may come from everywhere, including Africa. Okay. Okay.
Not the audience, not the marketplace, not the African marketplace, but more in terms of production costs.
I don't feel at the moment that we are just not. I'm not sure that we're big enough, geared up enough to produce on the kind of scale. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
I think just to give you a scale of what I was talking about, when you have a company like Cadbury going to Ghana to buy raw cocoa and other African regions at a very cheap rate, bringing the cocoa back to the Western world, going into production, putting the cost on it, you know, something along those lines.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
because cocoa comes from Africa.
I know.
So there are loads of ingredients. For example, my olive oil supply is here. So I personally believe that the best olive oil comes from Italy. It's sourced from one farm in Puglia, one region. I can't get that in Africa, right? So I think it would limit my business if I wanted to source from only one place. So my strategy is to source the best from the best regions. Yeah, for now, that's the strategy. But from what you say, something might happen where there is something like maybe a share butter product for hair that I want to develop. Absolutely, I'll be going to, Bixie tells me Ghana is the place to go to for that.
But Titi, even things like your modeling, is there nothing that you can source elsewhere? Because sourcing solely from, I mean, in terms of materials and stuff, I know you're getting your ingredients from other places, but yeah, like, I mean, in terms of bringing down
It really is about scale. You know, Betsy, you're absolutely right. It's about scale. So if you're looking at containers, we don't source our containers, for example, in the UK, because even the UK doesn't have the scale. China has the scale. So it really is about going to where you can get the best for what your money can buy. Yeah. Did you want to add to that?
I just thought, just to talk about Dragon's Den, what I thought was absolutely, I cracked up. When Dragon's Den called you, I don't know if you remember the conversation we had. Titi calls me and she's like, I just got a call from Dragon's Den. Did you give them my number?
Yes.
I was like, sorry, what's going on here?
But there was a reason.
Which is what?
So Betsy hooked me up with an NHS gig. And the same day they were filming in my house, I get the email from Dragon's Den. So I think, what's Betsy, how many things does she want me to do? That's why.
I didn't know that. So yeah, I thought, no, I'm not connecting like that. But it was crazy, the timings of it. And I remember them telling you, because normally with these sort of programs, they tell you not to tell anyone, you just have to keep it to yourself. But I remember they actually granted you a bit of grace and just said, you know, you can tell a couple of people.
Yeah.
Because they realised that the pressure was going to be intense.
Yeah.
And I think you were saying this on Instagram Live, how people need to get therapists if they're going on programs.
Yes, I agree.
And it's no exaggeration.
No, it's not.
It's not any exaggeration. Like, the way you felt after,
Yeah.
the way we all felt, even keeping this a secret for this long,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to have therapy
Yeah.
to just like decompress.
Yeah.
It's been intense.
It's been intense.
It's been intense. And I think, you know, people sign up to TV programs and, you know, people might have done it, will know, but it's next level.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
And then the period of time after you finish filming to when it comes out,
6 months.
it felt like a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, we kept checking in every now
Yeah.
and again, like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It was intense.
And coupled to the fact that even though you go on Dragon's Den, even if you win a deal, doesn't guarantee that you'll be edited into the show. And they tell you that from the beginning. So I did not know until the first episode where they showed a clip of me at the end that I was actually edited in.
Super stressful.
Very stressful. Shadi?
Hi everyone. Wendy and I wanted to just say how very proud we are of you. You know, we're really, really proud.
We are. When we think and we remember that little girl in a cotildo rolling in the sand and in the dust, and she's grown to be this lovely, caring, you know, phenomenal, ambitious young lady. If our dad was here today, but if our dad was here today, he would be so proud. He would be so proud because even from when we were young, he was very keen. He was very keen for us to be educated and be ambitious, and he'd be so proud of you today. And our mum, of course.
Yeah.
Don't leave mum out.
Yeah,
Mum, yeah.
Yeah, and I also wanted to add that when I was looking at the program of the day, I saw Ngozi's name and Betty, and I was thinking, oh, why is Ngozi and Betty? Why are they on the program? But I think you guys make a fantastic team. I feel really proud, actually, of how you all are kind of like, you know, just sitting together and your expertise. It just, I don't know, it just makes it, I don't know, it makes me feel really proud to be a black woman. You know, yeah.
Some people, thank you, Wendy, and thank you, Shadi, for that. And I apologize for all the years I caused you guys a lot of anger and a lot of grief.
When you make your millions, you can apologize.
Okay. Shadi and I have always had a dream that we're going to move to LA. Like, we've always had that dream. So, Shadi, I know it's going to happen for us. But
Shola? Shola likes LA.
if Shola doesn't want to come, it will be it will be a case of Mama and Dagbe Baba Yowa. But no, but I really love what you said, because some people may be cynical and say that, of course, she has her two Igbo friends where there's money involved. I know, of course it didn't cross your mind. But no, of course, the bottom line is you draw on the people that you know have this, and it may vary from friendship group to friends, but it just made perfect sense. Ngozi, I know, is obviously a bank, but she's always talking about business. Betty is always talking about business. It puzzles me that, yeah, because they're always talking about business. So it was a no-brainer, and it was just so easy and comfortable for me, anyway.
I just wanted to add something really quickly, because I don't just think, obviously I noticed that when you came onto the stage, Emma wasn't concerned about your figures. I think Emma just really loved the product and saw the potential. But other than that, I've just messaged, because I teach business studies on top of other things that I do, but I messaged my my fellow teachers, and they were saying, right, we're going to be using this in our business studies lessons. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So so I also think that there is also something about, you know, you being this big role model for kind of like really young, you know, like black girls, you know, who really don't believe that they can get a business together. So I think there's just so much scope and potential for.
I hope so. I really hope so. I have to maybe bring this to an end, but I've always wanted to own my own business. I think it took me a long while for me to actually be able to articulate that and say that out loud without thinking that you have a business. So I know that there are loads of black girls, black boys that want to have their own business. You guys should remember that when I was 8, I used to sell bangles in front of the house in Ikotedo. And then I used to do coconut candies.
Oh, yes.
I would make coconut candies and I would sell them. And one of the most harrowing experiences of my life was when I was making coconut candies. You guys have to understand something. I grew up on the streets of Ikotedo. If anybody knows where Ikotedo is in Ibadan, you know that that's the ends, right? So I grew up on those ends. And to make coconut candy at around 8, that means I had to go to the market. I had to buy the coconut. I'm not joking. I had to buy the coconuts myself, then bring them home, crack the coconut, grate the coconut, right? And then go to the Outback kitchen with sugar, and then melt the sugar, and then do the coconut candy, and then wrap the coconut candy in the plastic whatever, and put them in front of the house and sell the coconut candies. And one day, all the money that I'd saved in my little piggy bank, somebody stole that money. And I was devastated. And after that, I decided that maybe coconut candy was too difficult because of all the market runs. So I started to sell bangles. I started to sell bangles that you made with rubber, like waste rubber, right? I've always wanted to have a business. And I had to go back back to that childhood thing to connect with what I've always wanted to do. So I know that there are loads of black girls and black boys that want to have a business, but from the backgrounds that we come from, we are almost conditioned to believe that it's not for us. And one of the reasons that we believe that is because we don't have access as well, not only to money, but to the knowledge and to the expertise and to guidance and to people even showing us that it is possible. That's why when I said that when I went to Femi and his partner's company, that I was completely blown away, because again, I saw the representation of someone like me in business. So it is really, really important.
Hi, Titi. Hi.
So what we have this year coming up in store. So definitely we have 2 products lined up to launch this year. One of the products is not on the market. There's nothing like it on the market. So I know it's going to be the first of its kind. Apart from that, I kind of just want to also open myself to be guided by what Emma thinks for the business as well, because of her experience. So that will inform the next step for Uri Lifestyle as well. You wanted to say something?
Hi, Titi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi there. As you know, I don't know you that well. We kind of met by chance, and I can honestly say
We go through all the best membership clubs in Hertfordshire. We keep meeting from the Birch to Suppers. Yes, we keep meeting.
But what I must say is that I'm so proud of you. I really am. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, you talk about education, and for me, the education starts from a very young age. Yeah. It's not about us now. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I have locks. I've gone through from an early age relaxing my hair and everything else. I've now got a granddaughter who's 10 months old, finding it really difficult to find natural products for her. And I think that if that's an area that you're going to go into, I do think it's going to be big, because there are so many people who have young children, mixed race children. You see them and their hair is just, they don't know what to do with it. And I really think that that's where the education starts from, at a very young age, not now.
I agree. That's why our hair course, probably I would say, is 60% mums who need to learn how to care for their hair. The only pushback I would have with the product pieces, I don't think the market is short of products for even mixed race. I think what we lack, and why I was talking about that, is that education piece. Yeah. And once you can marry that with great products, but the thing is, we have to remember and acknowledge something. When our white counterparts were learning how to take care of their hair, we were learning how to put our hair in braids and in weaves. And until that changes, until we decide that actually wearing your own hair exclusively or for 50% of the time is okay,
yes,
that knowledge gap will always be there.
Exactly.
Because if you can put it away, why learn how to take care of it?
Yeah. But also the thing is, I find that it's so difficult to find products for really young children.
You're absolutely right there.
That doesn't just dry out the hair or whatever. I mean,
You're absolutely right there.
So that's the other thing. So it would be lovely if, there was
if that we move in that direction. One more. So, Ms. Avila.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, I mean, this might come across as a vote of thanks, but it's not. But I just wanted to say I'm really, really proud of you. Obviously being in the background, what I've seen in terms of back office and logistics, there is power in collaboration. She's got quite a few friends here that, the way they bounce ideas off each other, honestly, it's amazing. We guys, we always talk about, we want to do business, but when, guys being guys, we're not as open as you ladies. All her friends, the panel, Betty, Ngozi, two different, they both work in two different industries, but being able to bring their experience and knowledge from their industries to guide her. Bexy, I want to mention Abike. I see how you guys talk on the phone about postage. Which post office are you going today? It's honestly, it's little things that, so you've got to where you are today, with the help and support of all your friends. And I just want to say, as your husband, thank you very much to all our friends and what you guys are doing in terms of how you collaborate, talk. I think it's just wonderful to see. We guys are not like that. I'm not going to call my friend as It's just not how it's not just how we roll. But it's honestly wonderful to see in the background. She will carry her phone into the bathroom. She's still talking to Bexy. She's talking to. I'm just like, for God's sake, lift the phone. So there is power in collaboration. So anyone that has dreams about doing having a business or doing anything. I just wanted to highlight that collaboration. There's nothing like it. Honestly, it's amazing when you join hands. It's just So well done, and we are very proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's true. It is very true that it is very true the support that you get from just your counterparts, and I'm glad that my husband mentioned Bixie because he probably is noting how beneficial it was for me to move to click and drop. and I know that he said that because now he doesn't have to do the post office runs. So he's like, thank God Bixie taught her how to do pick and drop so that she doesn't have to do it. Yeah. But Bixie, I think you wanted to say something. No? Sorry.
Just lastly, I'd just like to put in a petition for the beard gang. Yeah. So
I'm going to say to you that Bixie has a great beard oil.
we're waiting.
And she's here. One of the things that I say is that if there's something that I think is already there or is better than what I can do, I'm not going to do it. And so therefore, for example, somebody may wonder, why don't I have a shea butter, for example, as a hair sealant? Because Bixie has the best hair shea butter on the market, in my opinion, in the country. So therefore, I tell my clients, buy the shea butter from Bixie. And if they say, oh, well, it's a little bit pricey, I say, try it once. And if you don't like it, don't buy it again. So there are amazing beard oils on the market. Bixie has one.
I'll talk to you once we finish.
Last question.
Who's speaking?
Oh, no, I thought, sorry. Okay, quickly, and then the last question.
No, I'm just fascinated by all this. I haven't got any here, so. I'm just fascinated by all the various product line. How do you draw your inspiration? What are the drivers behind all the various products?
Oh, amazing question. I think you've asked me some of the most amazing questions this evening. But I have to say that I draw inspiration from the community themselves. So Yemisi will know, for example, that everyone that has been on the Uri Lifestyle Hair course, we have a group. So when you finish that hair course, you don't just go away. You move into a big, we call it a master group. And that group is full of women who wear their hair, who have hair. So much inspiration comes out from that group. The next product that I'm going to launch next month is because of the need that those women don't even realize that they're communicating with me, but their pain points. So they've talked about this pain point for so long, and I thought, we should be able to develop something for that. So those women are my inspiration. Victoria's here. Victoria belongs to another little group of about 7 women who are the focus group. They test all the products before they even come out. So we have samples upon samples until they say it's perfect. They are my inspiration. Gets to a point where they even start to annoy me. So we have a product that hopefully will come out this year as well. These women told me that they preferred a scent that I didn't like. And they voted unanimously that that was the scent. And I had to just say, actually, that's what the people want. So they are my inspiration. The community are my inspiration. The hair needs the pain points that they complain about. That's my inspiration. At the back, last question. Thank you.
Now that this is public, advertising on your website. I've seen on Dragon's Den. Because what I was going to say is, regardless what the outcome is, this is good for business. You just being physically there, this skyrockets the image of your brand. Anyone can say, all right, cool. They know Ori Lifestyle. Oh, seen on Dragon's Den. It changes how I can even promote the brand.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
Can I just say, first of all, a round of applause for Akiva at the back. Please,
Appreciate
just do
you.
it and I'll tell you why. A lot of people complain about influencers and they say, oh, you can't work with them, everybody wants money. And look, I was a very, very tiny and struggling business when we approached Akiva to do some influencing work for us. And it was during the launch of our shampoo, which is now our bestseller. I promise you, we did not pay him a penny. The video that he did for us was one of the best videos that we have ever had. The way people shared that video, the way they engage with that video, I mean, his hair is amazing, but the way they engage with that video was, so I will forever defend influencers, especially the smaller influencers, that if you can inspire them to connect with you. And my thing is, I love to work with people long term. I know that better days are ahead of us. And if I don't remember Akiva, then God will not be happy. God will not be happy. So I believe that we've started a relationship that is going to last for a long while. And I just really want to thank you for also coming out tonight by yourself, no friend, no plus one, to just support the brand. Thank you, honestly, thank you. Right, should we wrap it up? Thank you all again so much. Can I give the last words to Betty and Ngozi, one by one? Who wants to go first?
Okay, so this has been a huge journey and massive congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been emotional, but I want you to recognize the attributes you have in you that got you here. Because definitely there's history, as your sisters talked about and you talked about, that got you here. But I think you need to recognize that the discipline you have, your ability to stay consistent and just work hard is what's got you here. And of course, timing and everything definitely helped, but don't for 1 second neglect the fact that you did the work. You did the work. You know, this is not like, oh my God, you got lucky. You know, you did the work. Luck happens when you do the work, and you did the work.
Thank
and
you.
the discipline is next level. I think the discipline you've shown in everything you've done has led you here. So I think it's one of those things we always think, oh, you know, if you're disciplined in one thing, but like even with your health, with your fitness, everything has led you here, and that's going to see you through. You're good.
Thank you.
You're good.
Not very serious. I think your passion, for sure, it speaks for itself. And I know a lot of people think it comes easy. We've had this debate on and off about Titi's on live, Titi's talking about the business, and she will always turn around and say to me, "You think it's easy for me?" It's difficult, but I really admire your tenacity. I admire you taking things from idea to fruition. You did that with. Not many of us can say we woke up, we want to support a bunch of kids we don't know, and have been doing it for the best part of 14 years, because my son is 14. So I think the journey continues. We look forward to seeing Ori on the shelves in bigger spaces. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And even beyond, I think something I was listening today made me aware of the fact that asking for help or asking for support is not even something that comes easy for something like this. So when you asked me to help you, I was kind of like, why is she asking me? But now I recognize that there's strength in not entirely depending on yourself. There's strength in asking people for difficult things, because even when you said you're coming with me to Manchester, I was like, why? No, and it wasn't an easy period at work either. But in all of that, I think you did the right thing. You set an example about, not maybe I'm the kind of person who's saying, well, it might be inconvenient for that person, or I'm overthinking the whole thing, but it reminded me that to grow, we can lean on people. To grow, we must ask for help. To grow, we don't need to do it by ourselves. And even sharing the floor tonight, is a testament to who you are. I personally didn't feel I needed to be sat here, but I appreciate you, and I wish you, bigger, better things ahead. So well done.
So do I still owe you for that holiday we're going for? That I haven't paid you for.
You don't want to owe me.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. That brings it even to a close. The bar's still open till 11 o'clock if anybody fancies a drink, or we just go home and call it a night. You want a picture of all of us?
Oh yes, on Emma's. Did you see
They put me in the.
It was discreet. I was like, if anyone was piecing this together, they pieced it.
Yeah. Lots of people.